In today's games media, we're often critiquing or commentating on games. One of the reasons I got started in this industry is because I just enjoy learning about new games on the horizon. I love finding upcoming games that look or sound interesting, and following their development through the studio's social media profiles, blogs, or video updates. It's one of the ways I've continued to stay excited about games through all these years, as it's constantly inspiring to see people bring their creations to life. So, with these videos that we're going to be testing out for a little bit, really just want to bring attention to upcoming games we're interested in, give you a little background info on who's making them where we can. These aren't meant to be critiques or thoughtful insight videos, we just wanted to take some time to highlight interesting games. If you're too young to remember it, we used to have to pick up gaming magazines to learn about new titles we had never seen before. So think of these videos like that experience for the digital age.
Oi, swadding, feeling nervous?
Deficit is a stealth action immersive sim being developed by Item 42, a two-person development team consisting of brothers Reagan and Brett Ware. Item 42 previously developed Perish, which was a pretty decent horde-based shooter with a heavy metal aesthetic and an Egyptian mythology backdrop. Deficit is described by the brothers as an immersive sim with a focus on brutal, chaotic close-quarters combat inspired by Condemned. What's really interesting about the game, though, is the setting, as it's a futuristic take on Hadrian's Wall, with players finding a device to allow them to escape and enter different realities. Perish was a solid but unremarkable game, so Deficit looks like a big step up based on the trailers available so far. The mix of the story-driven narrative, immersive sim elements, and focus on really impressive-looking melee combat is enticing. Just hoping the developers don't bite off more than they can chew. There's no release date for Deficit yet, but over on our games, the developers indicated the game would be in our hands soon. I'll admit that Truckville wasn't exactly on my radar until I heard it described on social media as Dredge, but with a truck. Since that post, it has firmly been near the top of my wishlist as a game to watch. Truckville, in development of Mythic Owl based out of Warsaw, has you driving a truck through the countryside to deliver packages to townsfolk, all while uncovering a darker mystery that surrounds the town. From the available gameplay, it appears that Truckville is also physics-based, giving it a bit of a Death Stranding vibe as you have to balance the packages in the back of the truck while driving through different terrains and avoiding, I guess, much bigger evil trucks, among other things. The art style is really lovely, and if it has a similar gameplay loop to Dredge, then I'm all in. Give me all the Dredge likes. Put me in a helicopter, an airplane, a submarine. Whatever it is, I'm there. Mythic Owl previously developed Harmony's Odyssey, which we reviewed quite positively back at The Escapist. It's also being published by the recently announced Pocket Pair Publishing Initiative, so you can go ahead and thank Palworld for helping make this game a reality. Truckville is currently due out in 2026 on Steam. If you're a fan of dinosaurs, there's a hell of a lot of games about them in development right now. The Lost Wild, Deathground, Instinction, Turok Origins, Jurassic Park Survival, Dino Blade. That one looks kinda cool. But the one I'm eagerly awaiting more information about is CompoundFracture, a very unique looking dino game in development at Iteria Games, a three-person development team based out of Florida. Obviously, the unique retro art style of CompoundFracture is eye-catching, but what has really drawn me into the game are the details on its Steam page, which indicate that it's a lot more hardcore than it appears on the surface. The game is a single-player narrative adventure that mixes survival horror with immersive sim elements, stealth, and a lack of hand-holding, as the developers describe having to piece together information from scattered maps and documents to make your way through the game. In particular, I love the game's use of lighting to create really tense-looking moments. Iteria also mentions in their press kit that the game isn't meant to be a spiritual successor to anything in particular, as they're pulling inspiration from a varied list of titles to try and make something unique. Not a lot of info out on this one just yet, but all the currently available footage and screenshots look really interesting, and I'm eagerly awaiting more updates. Iteria secured the means to work on the game full-time back in 2023, and posted an update as recently as March 13th of this year to indicate the game is still in development and progressing nicely. If CompoundFracture can make me as scared of dinos as I was as a kid playing carnivores, then sign me right up. Hearing that Allosaurus running up on you is a core memory for me. You may or may not remember a little indie gem that came out over a decade ago called Game Dev Tycoon. The game sold exceptionally well for developer Greenheart Games, and they have been working on their next game, Tavern Keeper, ever since. The game is very ambitious for the small team as it combines a detailed management simulation, a storybook narrative, full control over how you decorate your tavern, and lots of different simulated elements that can combine to create unexpected outcomes in-game. On their Steam page, Greenheart describes just a few of the different elements that can combine to create different scenarios, such as the personality traits of the patrons, your staff getting sick, different temperatures, and dozens more that they haven't publicly stated. I personally loved Game Dev Tycoon when it came out and still play it every once in a while, so I'm really excited to see what the team has been working on for the past decade. The game is due out in early access later this year with over 25 plus hours of content available at launch. There's a demo available on Steam right now if you want to give it a go. I have been yelling from the rooftops about Croak since we got to see it in person at PAX West last year. In development at Woodrunner Games based out of Montreal, Croak is a side-scrolling action precision platformer with an art style that's hard to look away from once you see it. If the animations in particular look good to you, that's because the lead animator and artist on the team was one of the key people behind the animation on Cuphead. I think every member of our team that got to check out Croak at PAX West came away impressed by it. The platforming was really polished, boss fights had incredible animations, there were unique mechanics like using the frog's tongue as a grappling hook, and the game had a great soundtrack to boot. Croak is one of those games that just screams award winner. No release date on this one, but based on what we played at PAX West last year, I would wager a guess that Croak is coming out sometime this summer or in early fall. I hope you enjoy this first little list of games to keep an eye on. We're hoping to release one of these weekly if the response is good, giving you a random assortment of games that we think deserve to be on your radar. Do let us know in the comments what games you think we should be keeping an eye on, and maybe they'll end up in one of these videos. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for checking out this little idea of ours. I have spent my entire career in games media covering indie games and spending a lot of time on social media and on Steam's upcoming list just finding games that I think look interesting to both myself and our audiences. And I wanted a format that could kind of just show you games. I know it's not one of our most thoughtful pieces or anything super in-depth, but I think game discovery is extremely difficult right now, and we have a really big audience, and if you can just kind of help these games get seen and put them on people's radars, I think that's a cool service that we can provide to you as a viewer and developers and hopefully help them out. And essentially, we just wanted to show you cool games. That's really all it is. Nothing more in-depth than that, and hopefully you're okay with that.